So we're doing a really nice fish dish. Again, this can be maybe your replacement for a turkey if you want to go with fish this year and you want to do something a little different, or maybe something different like an additional protein to have. I mean, yeah, Christmas Eve is coming up. I know there's a lot of fish represented there. So this is a really nice one, really, really simple to put together. And we're going to start off by putting together almost like a little crust, like a little gratin on top of the fish. Super, super easy. So we're start off with some breadcrumbs. You just use regular breadcrumbs, panko breadcrumbs. You can even use, if you have leftover cooked bulgur or cooked quinoa or cooked millet, that's beautiful as a crust, but it's gotta be cooked. You don't wanna use it raw. And then we're gonna spike this. We're gonna season it a little bit. So more seasonal ingredients. These are some of my favorites. The clementines. This is, I think, the juiciest, sweetest time of year for the clementines. And these guys are really gonna be the star in this dish. So, got 2 clementines here. Rip these leaves off. They come with leaves too now, which are really nice. And so this flavor, to spike this, this breadcrumb, we're gonna use some of the zest of the clementine. So you've seen me use this before. This is our rasp, our microplane. You can find this, most grocery stores have them now, kitchen stores, even dollar store, I think they have them. This is one of my favorite tools, use it a lot, and it's great for removing just the outer layer of that clementine, or you can do this with lemon or lime. But the smell of orange in here is beautiful, especially when it's in the oven. So I'm gonna do 2, depending on how big the fish is all in the outside. You'd wanna avoid using any of the white part because that's when it starts to get bitter. So just the orange part on the outside. Then we're gonna add a little bit of fresh herbs. So I have some parsley here. You can use dried as well if you don't wanna spend time chopping it, yeah. Yeah. I've sliced almonds. You can use any sort of like nuts or seeds just to give it some crunch, some texture. I know the price of almonds is going up like gold right now, but you can use anything like cashews or something like that in there. Really, really nice. And we're gonna use the juice, a little bit of the juice of the clementine too. So this is gonna give it some flavor. It's gonna help to bind everything together as well. So a little bit of that juice in there.
Oh, it smells so good.
You can smell it, see, and that's just from the grating of the clementine itself. We'll do a little bit of olive oil. When you spiral it like that, it doesn't come out as fast.
Yeah.
That was only a teaspoon. And we'll mix it together. So this is our beautiful crust. And you can use this, I mean, we're doing it with fish. You can even put this over top of a chicken breast. Or if you're doing grilled zucchini or eggplant, you can put a little bit on top of there too and bake it in the oven. It'd be beautiful. Just a couple extra steps, but you're transforming, and it's pretty simple. You know, a couple of ingredients, you throw it together. Yeah, not too hard. And now for our fish. So we are using, this is, I put salmon on there. You can use salmon. This is steelhead trout. Steelhead trout I love using in this class. It's one of my favorite fish. It put it here so you can see it. It tastes a lot like salmon, but I find it to be a little bit better than sort of like an Atlantic salmon or anything like that. But you can use Arctic char, you can use rainbow trout, especially if you're serving a lot of people. you just get one big side of fish. Get your butcher to prepare everything for you, or your fishmonger. Yes, yeah, this is parchment paper. This is just some parchment paper that I had it wrapped in, but I always bake on the parchment paper. It saves for a lot of cleanup afterwards, right? We bake on top. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it prevents it from burning the outside.
Does a trout have as many bones as a salmon that you have to look out for?
It's similar. Yeah, I mean, you have the bones usually at the front, but again, if you buy a side from the fishmonger, they'll remove it for you.
Yeah.
Tell them to remove it for you. Yeah. And if you buy it already butchered, usually it's already removed as well. It's only.
Scars from most.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they said it was bones and it wasn't like I got cuts in my fingers trying to get out the bones.
So always, yeah, you could always feel it
Yeah.
along the middle, and it's usually from the front. Once you get to halfway down, there's nothing. But usually from the front, you can kind of feel, and then you can either use fish pliers to take them out, or you can try to get them with your hands. Fish pliers. But you don't have to. Get your fishmonger to do it all for you. A lot easier. Okay, so we have our breadcrumbs, we have our fish. And if I was doing a small portion, maybe just for 1 or 2 people, obviously you can do the same thing, but just a smaller portion. Now we're gonna have a little bit of Dijon mustard on this. Again, this is something that you can have already in the fridge, so it saves you time. And what this does is it's gonna flavor the fish up a little bit, but it's also gonna help the breadcrumbs to stick to the outside.
Can you put something other than Dijon?
Yeah, you can do even just a little bit of olive oil, to be honest. Yeah, just something to help the breadcrumbs stick. You can do a little bit of olive oil. You can do I'm going through condiments. I'm like, no, don't put ketchup. Sorry? Yeah, you can do maybe a little bit of butter, but it's harder to melt across. So yeah, just use, I think, a little bit of olive oil if you don't like Dijon. You can do mayo. Yeah, if you want mayonnaise. Yeah, it's okay. You can even do, I know it sounds weird, but anytime I make chicken fingers, I crust them with yogurt, and they actually taste pretty good.
Do you use Greek yogurt? Or do you use
Any yogurt. Yeah. Any unflavored, like a plain yogurt. So if you want to go a little lighter, and you don't want to use mayo, you can use like a plain yogurt. That'd be really nice. So breadcrumbs over top. And we're going to pat this down, right? Because you're competing with a turkey right now, right? We got to make sure that this is looking good, tasting good, right?
And the green makes it look festive.
Very festive, very festive. We got the almonds there. If you have still one of those clementines left, just slice it, right? And then you can just throw it around. Just throw it around the outside. I don't put it on top because I want the top to crisp up a little bit. So I'm going to just put a few here on the outside, and those will kind of get nice and sweet and caramelized. And then at the end, that's when I would add just a little bit of olive oil just to help the top crisp up. And that's it. So again, this is the fish. You can do the breadcrumbs ahead of time, have it in the fridge. You have the fish ready to go in the fridge. But that's it. Breadcrumbs out of the way. I mean, to put it together, it takes 2 seconds. Throw it on top into the oven. It takes only 20 minutes to cook, right? So you can keep this in the refrigerator. Even if you did it the same day, put it in the refrigerator. And then when people are coming over, then you throw it into the oven. Okay?
And after you cooked it, let's say you got leftovers or bread away, could you freeze some? Because you made it?
You could. The bread, yeah, you could. I mean, once it's cooked, I would eat it right away. Yeah, fish I don't like to store for too long or freeze. Raw, absolutely. It's beautiful. You can freeze it. But yeah, after it's cooked, probably not. So this is one that we did ahead of time. So really nice and golden brown on top. And yeah, it's gorgeous, beautiful like this. So
Those are oranges or lemons?
these are the clementines. Yeah, that we used in there. So actually, hold on, let me put this over here.
You did it with the zucchini, you just slice the zucchini lengthwise,
Yeah.
not cook it ahead of time, just put it in raw, like,
A little bit of olive oil, breadcrumbs, or do an egg wash.
then do it, okay.
Yeah. So beautiful. So that's it. Like that, you can present this whole thing on the table, like that whole piece. Beautiful like that. We'll do one portion just to show you. And another one of my favorite things, it's just running around on me. Brussels sprouts. This is also the time for Brussels sprouts, right? And again, you don't have time to cook Brussels sprouts maybe. So we're gonna do it raw, really, really simple. You can buy it shredded too, which saves a lot of time. But otherwise what I do is I cut them in half, you just trim the outsides, and then just take your time and slice this way. So see how I have the cut side down? And see how it's like nice and shredded and beautiful. There's a lot of recipes cooking Brussels sprouts, but Brussels sprouts raw is a really nice salad, a really nice, almost like slaw, right? So it is a cabbage, right? So I don't find it to be as sulfury as a cabbage would be. It's a little bit sweeter, but it will still have an aroma, let's say, to it.
You don't need to blanch them.
Just make sure you say it's Brussels sprouts. Sorry?
You don't need to blanch them.
No, no, just trim them, wash them well, right? And then we have, I did some more ahead of time here. Right, so a few of these Brussels sprouts, and it makes a really nice, even salad on its own. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a little bit of Brussels sprouts, I'm gonna add a little bit of onion as well. And this is another one where you can even grate the onion if you want, just nice and thin. The red onion in there, so you got the purple and the green, beautiful contrast of colors there. And we're gonna add some, this is just white, you can do a white wine vinegar or a white balsamic vinegar or rice wine vinegar. And I go a little heavier on the vinegar too, because I want a little bit of that sharpness, right? Sorry? Yeah, it sort of breaks it down. The onions too. Sometimes I don't actually like raw onion in things because I find it to be overwhelming. So if you add a little bit of vinegar to that, it sort of breaks it down a little bit, makes it a little bit sweeter, not as harsh. All right, so a little black pepper. Pretty simple. Then you're just gonna get right in there.
Put red wine vinegar too.
You can put a little red wine vinegar, sure. Yeah. I wouldn't use balsamic just because it's so dark, and I love these colors, right? Of the red and the purple and the green there. All right. So we have this beautiful little slaw, our fish cooked, and then if we're gonna add a little simple sauce, again, we're looking for easy products that are already done. So this is yogurt. This is yogurt. I didn't put it on there, this one. This is a bonus. This is bonus, write it down. So a little bit of yogurt. As much as you need. So I would put probably about a tablespoon per serving. So if you have a big piece, do like, half a cup. Yeah, half a cup of yogurt. So a little bit of yogurt. You can add even a little bit of, just a little bit of citrus to it, because you have the Clementine flavor in the top. So we might as well add it here too. Yeah, like a couple tablespoons, maybe. No, we're gonna serve this with the fish. Yeah, just to give it a little bit of a sauce, right? And then if you want this, for me, it reminds me of Christmas too. Does anyone know what this is? No? So I heard it. Someone said it.
That's already.
No, someone said it. Horseradish. This is fresh horseradish. And you will see this in grocery stores. Most of the time we walk by it because it looks like a really ugly root. It might look like even celery root a little bit. But this is fresh horseradish. The flavor is unbelievable fresh. You can use a little bit of prepared too. It adds a little bit of a bite. But this is optional.
Does that store well, like for a long time?
This is, sorry?
Can it store?
Yeah, you can freeze this too. I freeze any sort of roots, yeah.
And it cleans out your sinuses.
Oh, yes. Perfect for this time of year. And it's not too powerful. I find the prepared ones sometimes are a little stronger, but the fresh one is fresh one is really, really nice. Really, really flavorful. All right, so if I'm preparing just one portion, we're gonna put a little bit of that horseradish down here. Just a little bit of that Brussels sprouts on top there. And that's it. And that's bon appetit. There you go. Beautiful.